What's going on, everybody? What's going on? Welcome to the channel. We're going to get started here in about 30 seconds. Don't go nowhere, guys. This is the video that you don't want to miss. We're going to have a real conversation. Let's get into it. Hello, everybody. Hello. This is Brother Rumble with the Most True Podcast. I want to thank you for stopping by to check out this video. Listen, I'm going to ask you, if this is your first time watching, please comment down below with your name and where you're watching from. And if you are a regular watcher, you can do the same. Also, if this is your first time, please consider subscribing to the channel if you like this content, and hit that bell notification so you can be notified whenever we go live or whenever we post up new content. Guys, I know you're anxious to get back into the video. I thank you for taking time out to watch this commercial break. Without further ado, let's get back into the video. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the channel. This is yours truly, Jason Rembert, and you are tuned into the Moments True Podcast. Guys, I tell y'all this all the time. You could be anywhere in the world. I had to get this straight real quick. You could be anywhere in the world doing anything, but you have chosen to take these next few minutes and chill with me. Now, guys, this video is going to be a little lengthy today. It's going to be a little lengthy because I have, guys, on this channel, we cover a lot of spiritual abuse, manipulation, assaults, scandals done by preachers under the guise of ministry. And I have heard and covered some pretty bad situations. But I think, man, this situation right here, man, takes the cake. I got to give a shout out to Mike Winger, man. Mike Winger has been on the front line of exposure ministry for a very long time. Mike Winger has been called by God. I really do believe that. I believe Mike Winger has been called by God to offer the people of God the chance to recognize assault, recognize abuse, recognize manipulation from a leadership standpoint. And Mike Winger dropped a video about 6 days ago about this individual named Steve KoKo. He is very, 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 very well known in Latin America, in the countries of Panama, South America, different places like that. And a lot of the Christian YouTube spaces outside of Mike Winger and others have not really covered this because Steve KoKo is not what we consider an American mega preacher. But I'm going to share a part of Mike Winger's exposure video on here, because when you begin to hear the stories of one of the victims, her name is Sarah, and what she experienced at the hands of Steve KoKo, it is amazing to me that this man is not in jail, that charges have not been pressed and filed against this man. And not only that, but Mike Winger is lately here has been coming under fire from different people that support Steve KoKo and support his ministry. They've been slandering him, Mike Winger. They've been slandering him on the internet, dragging him through the mud because of his exposure. Now, I don't understand how this is how conflicted the society of today is. This is how conflicted and how sickening this church Christendom society is. That we would rather cover up and support people like Steve KoKo, who is sexually, mentally, emotionally, and physically abused countless victims, countless women as young as ages 18 years old. This Christendom society will fight to cover him up, and then will drag the person that is exposing him, will drag them through the mud. When I say, guys, that this is a Babylonian culture, a sick Babylonian sinful culture that has infected the church world, this is what I mean by that. Because we will stand with an abuser and give him power to keep on abusing rather than stand with victims. When you go after people that are exposing these sick, evil, sadistic people for what they are, when you go after the one that is exposing them, what you're doing is you're siding against the victims. You're telling the victims that their voice does not matter when you go against the ones that are exposing. I'm not going to play this whole video of Mike Winger, okay? I will, however, link this video down in the description box below if you want to watch it. This video is 4 hours long. I watched about 2.5 hours of it. I couldn't take anymore. I was so shocked and enraged by what I was hearing. And I'm not even gonna play the 2 hours that I listened to. I'm gonna play maybe the first 20 minutes of this video. And I'm gonna tell you guys, man, you better be prepared for what you're about to hear. Because if there was a poster child for evil, if there was a poster child for spiritual abuse and manipulation, it would be Stephen KoKo. And all of them that are covering up the sin of Steve KoKo. I stand with Mike Winger, and I stand with the victims when I say you ought to be brought to justice. So, guys, I'm about to play this video here, guys. I may interrupt from time to time because of fair usage and copyright use. But I gotta give a shout out to Mike Winger, guys. Man, been on the front line for years, man. He has exposed Benny Hinn. He has exposed countless preachers. Mike Winger is the reason why you don't hear much about Benny Hinn nowadays. Because when he exposed all the fake healings from the Benny Hinn crusades, man, this is the man that brought Benny Hinn to repentance. And Mike, if you're watching this, man, I salute you, brother. We'd love to connect with you soon. Let's play this video.
This video is a warning to the church about the predator, Stephen KoKo.
This is not an issue of a man fell into sexual sin and then all of a sudden we just went and destroyed his ministry. Everything that happened led to us finding out he was abusing the women. There is sexual, physical, mental, spiritual abuse, and it's not right.
His whole thing was training to have a wife, and so he would refer to her in text message as the slave.
There's the whiteboard that shows how many lashes she was to get for each mistake.
Una vez sí agarró una correa y me golpeó en la espalda.
He did grab a belt and hit me in my back.
Now, this is a preacher. You would think that this is some crazy, deranged psychopath. You know, you would think that this is something, a scene from some type of Lifetime movie from the Lifetime channel or something. This is a preacher. This is a person that is part of Panama for Christ, heading Panama for Christ. This is a person that proclaims to be prophetic, that proclaims to have such a deep relationship with Christ. This is a person that many people hail as the Billy Graham of Latin America. Beating this young girl, giving her lashes across her back, a certain amount of lashes for each mistake that she makes. This is why I say, man, we have to call these people accountable and bring them to the square. And I pray that charges is pressed against Steve KoKo. I thought these preachers in America was insane. This right here, what y'all about to watch, this right here takes the cake, man.
Y las veces que me golpeó.
And the times that he hit me
la correa
with the belt
fueron muy fuertes.
They were very hard.
Sí, su excusa era porque me decía que yo tenía que aprender a no cometer error.
Yes, his excuse was that I had to learn to not commit mistakes.
Yo siempre quería gritar y decir.
I always wanted to shout and say what was happening.
Pero él siempre me decía que no.
But he would always tell me no.
Que no lo hiciera.
For me not to do it.
Que él podía perder todo el
that he could lose everything in the ministry.
Pensé que iba a morir y que iba a llevar ese secreto porque no podía hablar con
She says I thought I was gonna die with this secret with me because I was not able to speak with no one.
You've been victimized by this ministry and by this man. You've shared your story. And the organization goes after the people that are helping you get the story out.
This has shocked me. Like, I've been in ministry many years, but it has shocked me. I almost felt like I opened the lid to a corruption I haven't seen, a cover up, because it's not only Stephen KoKo. There's people who know about this. There's people around him.
This is a payoff request. Okay, he is, in my opinion, he is giving her a promise of money, requesting that she lies. Deep corruption, because guess where this money comes from? This payoff money, the ministry.
But KoKo, I know you're going to watch this. So I'm saying to you right now, I'm saying for you to accurately, before God, handle this, you need to turn yourself into the police.
This video is a warning to the church about the predator, Stephen KoKo. KoKo is a gifted evangelist. He is well known in Central and South America, known as the man of God, with powerful and effective evangelism. Many have professed Christ because of his ministry. He has done ministry in Panama, Costa Rica, Mexico, Colombia, other Latin American countries, though he himself is actually a U.S. citizen. The dark truth about KoKo is that he uses his ministry to target, groom, and abuse women even as young as teenagers, though KoKo himself is in his 40s. Through his ministry, and through his reputation as the man of God, he targets these young women. He has called himself the Billy Graham of Panama.
You know, Panama, I'm at a place right here selling my TV show at a convention.
Let me pause this right quick. Let me say this, man. It is people like us that empower these people. Now, we didn't know that Steve KoKo was doing this stuff behind the scenes. But when we give our hard-earned money, and I don't mean to just make this about money, guys, but what I mean is when we support these ministries, even if we don't know what they're doing behind closed doors, when we support these ministries, we empower them to do what they're doing. You know what made Steve KoKo have such a criminal enterprise? Because make no mistake about it, guys, this is a criminal enterprise disguised as a ministry. Anytime you can abuse young women, abuse girls, and manipulate your power and have people to cover it up because you're making thousands and upon hundreds of thousands of dollars in pesos, then in my eyes, it's a criminal enterprise. And I believe that he should be subject to criminal law.
And there were two pastors from Panama, and they were so excited to see me. Like, I know 2,000 churches in Panama. I was like the Billy Graham of that nation.
But I think a more fitting name would be the Predator of Panama, although his predations do not limit themselves to Panama. You're going to hear from the women themselves in this video.
And he told me, it's time for your scold.
Pero esta vez tienes que quitarte
And
la
he told me,
ropa,
but this time you need to take your
ponerte
clothes off.
bajo el aire,
Put yourself
puse el aire
underneath
más
the
bajo
AC.
que pudo,
He put the AC the coldest
quedé
possible.
ahí como por 2 o 3 horas,
And I was there like for 2-3
cuando
hours.
casi desmayé.
And I was when almost I fainted.
Though you'll hear from 2 of them, there are many more. We know that KoKo has admitted to having sex with 7 different girls while he has been in ministry.
You admit you have been with 7 girls. 7 girls, the other girls you have been with. You admit you have had sex with them.
Yes, I did.
But this video is not just about uncovering what KoKo has done. We need to talk about the cover-up culture, the people, the men, the individual leaders who have tried to work together to help cover up for KoKo to keep him in ministry. That is, victims have tried to come forward. People have tried to advocate for them. And there are individuals who have done bad stuff to try to cover up for KoKo, and we're going to expose all of that in this video. I'm talking about guys like Solomon Kepke. Solomon Kepke is one of the reasons why Steve KoKo is still in power. Solomon is seen as a prophet, a man of God. He is an evangelist. He claims on his website he has 1.5 million people that have become saved because of his ministry.
This guy right here, Solomon Kepke, I went on his website in social medias. Let me tell you something, man. These people, they use the gifts of God. And I don't believe he's a prophet at all. I believe that he is a warlock. Because anytime you can use a gift and use it to cover up people in power, you're not walking in the office of a prophet. You are a warlock, and you have people under demonic control. I'm sorry, guys. I'm not going to sit here and give these people a pass. It's not being judgmental. It's not thinking that I'm better than anybody. It's holding people accountable for what they do. This is one of the men that is making sure that Steve KoKo doesn't go down for what he's doing, because it's a network. It's like a spider web, man. It's a network. They do this so they can stay in power. It's not about Jesus Christ. It's not about the message of salvation. They don't care about your soul. What they care about is what they can use you for and what they can get out of you.
And he is working behind the scenes. He has a lot of connections, and he is.
Let me say this too. These people, they got to come down, man. Babylon has to fall. Babylon has to fall. And the only way for Babylon to fall is there's got to be more courageous men and women willing to come up and share their stories. And there's got to be more platforms like Mike Winger willing to give these people a voice. That's why I rock with Mike Winger.
Gone through great efforts to slander the name of people who've come out to rightly accuse Steve KoKo of doing stuff. He's written documents, he's texted, he's gotten involved in the ministry in order to protect KoKo in unjust ways. And sadly, a lot of people believe him. I'm talking about guys like Gary York, who's also doing cover-up culture for Todd White right now.
So it's my honor to call up I'd like to call him my best friend at this point in time, Todd. And thank you for this man, Lord.
Can I tell you a couple of great times with Gary? Can I just tell you?
I'm talking about John Mercier, people who intimidate witnesses, who offer legal threats, who spread lies in order to keep a predator going. And KoKo's current ministry board members who, through evil actions or evil inaction, are doing cover up for KoKo. Because of them, I believe KoKo will continue to target and victimize young women. And from the testimonies I've heard, he just keeps getting worse.
Now, this is what I want us to understand. The reason why we have to call out these predators and call out these abusers, the reason why people like Mike Winger and different other ones do what we do is because not just for those that are affected right now, but for those that are affected in the future. And let me say this too. Not only should Steve KoKo be held accountable, but every person that he has encountered, that has empowered him, that has covered up for him, that has not held him accountable for his actions, all of them should face severe punishment and penalties as well. That is why I'm so grateful to Brother Mike that he's doing this, because for the simple fact that too many times when we expose these people, we don't expose the team around them. And what happens is a lot of the times when the main person is exposed and they get removed, all they do is replace them with somebody else with the same team, and the same cycle keeps happening over and over again. So we need to not only call out Steve KoKo, but do what Mike Winger is doing. Not just call out the person that's doing it, but call out everyone that is empowering this person and allowing this person and covering up this person. That's why Baby Lamb hasn't gotten any justice. Because not just because Joni Lamb covered up the assault that her son-in-law did, but she also made sure that everyone on her team was in lockstep. That is why we have problems with people like Rob Parsley coming to justice. It's because the people around him empowers him. You're not just going up against an individual, you're going up against a system. It's a system. And these victims, they are going up against this Babylonian machine, this evil Babylonian, supposedly Christian machine.
So I don't even know where it's going next. The Bible says we should expose Stephen KoKo. And this is part of what I think thinking biblically is all about, is applying the Bible to some hard areas like this. In Ephesians 5:11, it says, take no part in the unfruitful works of darkness, but instead expose them.
I'm going to ask everybody, if you will, please like this video. Please like this video and subscribe to the channel if you have not. And if you would like to be a blessing to the channel, you can do so by scanning the QR code right here on the screen in the corner. All right, let's go.
1 Timothy 5:19 and 20, it tells us how to handle a leader who is in serious sins. It says, don't admit a charge against an elder except on what? The evidence of 2 or 3 witnesses. We have more than 2 or 3 witnesses. I'll present them to you today. As for those who persist in sin, rebuke them in the presence of all, so that the rest may stand in fear. We're doing that now. He needs to be rebuked. His own leaders won't handle it. And so we are going to step in. Matthew 18:17 says that after these various steps have been taken, if he refuses to listen to them, tell it to the church. And if he refuses to listen even to the church, let him be to you as a Gentile and tax collector. I think that we are approaching this stage with Stephen KoKo. Although he deserves more than just being exposed, the man should be in prison.
I agree with my wing on that. This man should be in prison, because I pray that everybody goes to the link that I posted down in the description box, because the link to this video in its entirety is listed below in the description box. Please click on that link. Subscribe to Mike Winger if you have not, and watch this video. Listen to what a man that claims to be an ambassador for Christ, or the Jimmy Graham of Latin America or South America, listen to what he did to these people. Listen to what he did to these women. It is beyond appalling. It is beyond sickening. And let me tell you something, man. There are plenty of Steve KoKos right here in North America. There are plenty of Steve KoKos in South America. There's plenty of Steve KoKos in Europe, Asia, France, Germany, Australia, Canada, Russia. There are plenty of Steve. People are already going through enough as it is. When you think the one place we should be able to come and get some type of relief, come and get some type of help, should be the house of God. But you're starting to see that more and more the Spirit of God is abandoning these ministries and churches, because a lot of these people that claim to be ambassadors for him are more sickening than people that are in the world. And what upsets me is the fact that they do it all behind the cross. And you have people that will never look at Christ the same because of what some preacher has done.
I'm in the middle of a series of videos, and this is part of it, trying to teach people to think biblically about accountability and to end cover-up culture in churches, especially charismatic churches. Yes, it exists elsewhere, but it's especially bad in charismatic churches. When you layer in prophecy and the elitism that goes on, it's especially bad there. It's a massive problem, and it's a rebellion against God's word. In particular, Stephen KoKo's situation is not just about him fornicating with many women, which he's admitted to. It's about him using his ministry to groom these women and target them, to then abuse them, not to mention his abuse of ministry finances, and then the people who've come alongside to do cover-up culture for Steve KoKo. So today, you're not only going to hear from the witnesses themselves, from the victims themselves, you're also going to hear from the brave men who've tried to help these women and hold Steve KoKo accountable. They received legal threats, their names were slandered, and their ministries were attacked, and they have been greatly harmed because of this.
Now, let me say this, guys. We have to keep these people in prayer. For those of you that are clicking on this video and you're watching this video and you love coming to Moments of Truth, you love coming to Mike Winger, you love coming to Laura Lynn Tyler Thompson, you love coming to Rock Leach with Social Fire and the unction with Pastor Ray Curry and Ohio for Freedom with Brother Everett, or Mega Manias with Robin Togelson. You love coming to our channels to hear the stories of these victims. But let me tell you something, man. We need your prayers, because we are the buffer. God is using us as the buffer between these paganistic, legalistic, and sick sycophancies that claim to be people that represent Christ. And we are the buffer. And you know what they do? They go after us. They try to slander us, call us out by name, because we're holding them accountable. So if you think we don't need your prayers, we do. Yes, we need your support. Yes, your clicks and views help us to keep the channels going. Yes, your donations help us. But more importantly than anything, we need your prayers, because we are constantly under spiritual warfare. Because if you think the enemy is okay with us uncovering his kingdom that he is building, empires that he has built, all under the guise of Christianity, and we're shining the light on that, if you think Satan's okay with that, you are sadly mistaken. He is going after us. He's going after our children. He's going after our marriages. He's going after our businesses. Whatever he can do to distract us, to keep us from coming to you with the truth. This is why we need your prayers. A lot of these men that Mike Winger is naming now that are for these victims, they are under high scrutiny. Mike Winger is under high scrutiny for holding people accountable, for wanting people to do what is right. Laura Lynn Tyler Thompson under high scrutiny. Pastor Ray Curry under high scrutiny. Even myself. We need your prayers. Y'all don't have a clue the battle that we fight when this camera goes off after you finish watching our videos. And all we do is ask y'all to just like and subscribe. But you don't have a clue the battle that comes behind this when you're standing up against the machine.
There's consequences to my own life or my own ministry. Like, we're going to count the cost, and we're like Jesus did, and we'll carry the cross for the abused women. I think that's a bigger testimony than covering it up and raising up powerful men like the world does. I think we're called to take care of the abused and the lowly and the poor, and really don't care about our own reputations and denying ourselves. That's Christianity, and that will be a testimony and a light to the world.
You're also going to hear from Torben Sondergaard. Torben is a well-known ministry leader who Steve KoKo tried to bring in, and he lied to Torben to get him to do cover-up culture for Steve KoKo. But Torben started to realize that he was being lied to.
You always minimize it. You always create a idea that is not truth. You never really have been truthful with what you have done. Not one time. Because the truth is so shocking and you don't want people to know what is truly going on. And that's why I say to you, I don't see you have repented.
And now Torben wants to go out on the record in order to clear the air and expose what needs to be exposed.
KoKo confessed with his own mouth to me. Like that confession in itself is enough to that the board should have shut him down for a long, long time ago. If they did that, there had not been.
And see, these people like Steve KoKo, they are protected by what they call boards. These boards that same thing with Art Lucier. You know, when people started coming out on Art Lucier out there in Canada, you know, he got this accountability board, but really the board is a part of his ministry. The ministry is under him. So do you think that the board is really going to do what is right? Just like Steve KoKo got a board that he's supposedly answers to. There ain't nothing but it's their friends. When they talk about, I'm going to step away from ministry, all they're doing is going on a paid vacation, chilling out with their friends in the mountains or on the beach somewhere, planning how they're going to blow this over so that they can continue on doing what they do.
18, I don't know how many victims. But not only he confessed, then we have the confession of the girls, then we have the proof, then we have all of the rest. So I think it's very, very clear what is going on here.
Steve KoKo also has connections with various other charismatic leaders. If you're in the charismatic church, then you would know some of these people. I'll put them on screen. I think that what he's experiencing and going through with the cover-up culture is some stuff I've seen in the same circle over and over again over the past several months. So this is the story of KoKo's abuse of women, his abuse of ministry funds, his abuse of the brave men who tried to hold him accountable and paid the price, and the story of those who've tried to cover up KoKo's sins and are still trying to enable him to continue doing his ministry, which he uses for carnality and wickedness. If you're a victim of abuse, you may not want to watch this video. That's okay. It may not be for you. But let me just tell you guys the order of the things that you're about to hear, because this intro is almost over. You're going to hear from Sarah first, a long testimony of what she went through. Then you're going to hear from Camilla, a letter that she has written that I'll be reading on screen for you guys to hear her words. Both of these girls were teenagers when KoKo targeted them.
Tell you what I'm going to do, guys. I'm going to dive into a little bit of the lady Sarah's. I'm going to dive a little bit into Sarah's testimony here because I want y'all to hear this. She met Steve KoKo when she was 18. He was 41 years old. My main thing is this. Why can't they? It's bad enough to abuse, but why you always got to go after these young girls? Why can't you find a woman in your own age group and try to run that game on? Because it's not going to work. That's why. So you try to manipulate these young girls' minds because you think they're impressionable, and you use your so-called celebrity, your gift, your office to manipulate them and overpower them mentally. Then you try to break them down to where their whole identity is wrapped up in you. I'm not going to play her entire testimony. If you want to watch her entire testimony, then click the link below in the description box to watch this video, to watch Mike Winger's video. But I'm just give you maybe about 10 minutes of it. Now, this is from 2022. This is from 3 years ago. And this man is just not really being exposed now. So this is from 3 years ago. Since then, he's abused even more young women since 2022. But y'all take a listen to this.
We have not said anything to her that would change or influence or pressure her in any way.
And I remember it was December. Innocent. I was just part para mi beneficio. And then I joined Panama for Christ as a photographer. And that's when I met Sulmi and all the team. I keep very innocent. I was just part of the team. Luego estando en Chiriquí. Then being in Chiriquí. KoKo me pidió que si podíamos ir a cenar con Pastor Solomon. KoKo asked me if we could go to have dinner with Pastor Solomon. Okay, está bien. And I said, okay, that's good, that's fine. Pero nunca tuve algún pensamiento.
Now remember, Pastor Solomon, he's one of the enablers. He's one of the ones that helped KoKo continue his pattern of abuse. He's another one that we need to bring to justice. They're supposed to be the prophet. But I want y'all to listen to how they set her up. How he set her up with Steve KoKo.
Tal vez KoKo guste de mí o yo guste de KoKo nunca. But I never had a thought on like, I probably like him or he probably likes me in a more of a sentimental way. Cuando estuve con KoKo cuando llegué con KoKo al restaurante, primero fuimos a un parque con Pastor Solomon. We first went to a park with Pastor Solomon. Y Pastor Solomon estaba tomando muchas fotos. And Pastor Solomon was taking a lot of photos. Solo de él y de mí. Just of him and I. Ahí se me hizo algo muy raro. And to me that was a little bit weird. No estaba entendiendo bien qué estaba pasando. I was not understanding what was happening. KoKo solo me dijo que Pastor Solomon era así. KoKo just told me that Pastor Solomon was just no like that. Comunicar mucho con Pastor Solomon porque no. And then we went to eat. Lo raro fue que yo y KoKo nos sentamos en una mesa y Solomon se sentó en otra mesa. So what was weird is also that KoKo and I sat in one table and then Solomon just sat in a different table.
See, this is where the grooming begins. See, KoKo gotta have his buddy Prophet Solomon Kepke, taking pictures of him and the young girl Sarah, and then when they go out to eat, Kepke sits at another table and leaves her at the table with KoKo. I'm telling you, man, the wolves, they run in packs, y'all.
KoKo me confesó que él gustaba de mí. And there he confessed to me that he liked me. Y ahí fue que empezamos a conocernos más. And that's when we started to get to know each other better. Recuerdo que era agosto, septiembre, no. I remember it was August, September. I can't remember that well. Tenía 18 años, creo que era el 2000. I was 18. 2019. I think it was 2019. Y bueno, ahí empezamos a conocernos. And we started. Y él quería que nos casáramos. Get to know each other. En enero. And he wanted us to get married in January. Pero bueno, el tiempo fue pasando. But then time just kept on going.
How long did he ask you to marry you after you met him?
Que lo conociste, cuando él te pidió que te casaras con él. Nos conocimos, si no me recuerdo, agosto, septiembre, y me dijo que si todo salía bien después de Panamá para Cristo, él quería casarse en enero. We met like August, September, and he told me if everything goes well with Panama for Christ, he wanted to get married in January.
Now listen to that, man. She was 19, he was 41. Just met this man in August, September. And you mean to tell me in 5 months you want to marry? Why do you want to marry a 19-year-old? You 41. Man, I'm gonna tell y'all something, man. These people are sick. They are sick. They are geared by lust, and they think that their power and prestige allows them to do whatever they want to do.
Recuerdo que Panamá para Cristo terminó. I remember Panama for Christ finished. Y sé que fue en diciembre. And I remember it was December. Fueron creo que es 15 días, si no mal recuerdo. I think it was 15 days before Christmas. Fuimos María, KoKo, we went María, KoKo, and myself to Mexico, to Cozumel. Y ahí era pues para conocernos. And it was just to get to know each other, y que María estuviera ahí pues supervisando. And for Maria to be there with us, supervising us. Pero no salió como lo esperábamos. But it didn't went as planned. Yo era muy joven. Because I was too young. KoKo era muy exigente. KoKo was too demanding. Lo que él me decía era que yo no sabía hacer bien las cosas. What he was telling me was that I did not know how to do things right. Que era muy lenta. That I was too slow. Que me faltaba pues mucho. That I still needed a lot. Que él prefería pues esperar a que yo no sé, que creciera.
She's 19 years old, man. Come on, she's too young, she's too slow. She's 19. She doesn't know nothing about what you're talking about. She is 19. What 19-year-old is equipped to handle the needs of a 41-year-old man? See, this is what they do. They break you down mentally to make you feel inadequate. Then they make you feel disposable so that you depend solely upon them. That's the classic narcissism and classic moves of a predator.
Y que
And that
supiera
he
hacer
preferred
mejor las cosas.
for me to, I don't know, grow and for me to learn to do better
Porque
things.
no le funcionaba una esposa así.
Because it didn't work to him to have a wife like that.
Siempre me decía que fuera más como María.
He always told me that for me to be more like Maria.
Porque yo iba a tomar el puesto de María.
Because I was going to take Maria's position.
This whole conversation before that January?
¿Cuándo fue toda esta conversación? Eso fue antes de enero.
Sí, eso fue casi.
I don't know who Maria is, but apparently Maria must have been somebody who was already in position with KoKo, and he's grooming this young girl to take her position. They think that they can swap women like swapping shoes. And they never go to women that know their worth. They always jump on these girls when they're young and they don't know their worth and try to tear them down. They never go to a woman their age that knows their worth. That's why, man, I'm getting to the point now, man. I'm 40 years old. If I see a man, especially if he claims to be a preacher, and he got a girlfriend or a wife, and he 40 and she 20, 21, 19, 22, I'm looking at you sideways. Because why you can't get a woman in your own age group, bro?
Y ya al final del viaje en México,
Yeah, that was almost at the end of the trip of Mexico.
fue una conversación que incluso estuvo ahí María
That was
traduciendo.
a conversation that even Maria was the one there translating it.
Así que terminamos ahí, o sea, no terminamos, él prácticamente me dijo que él quería como entrenarme más para yo ser una
And that's why
buena
we were
esposa.
talking, and basically we couldn't talk that
Eso
much.
fue en
The only
México.
thing he was telling me was that he wanted just to train me better to be a better wife. That was in Mexico.
Y ya luego, yo me fui a Panamá.
Then I came to Panama.
Did he meet your pastor?
Hizo eso con tu pastor, se encontró con tu pastor.
No porque Pastor Zurita en ese tiempo,
No, because Pastor Zurita in that time,
lo que él me dijo y a lo que yo entendí
what
era
he
que no
told
se
me,
llevaban muy bien.
what I understood was they didn't get along.
Y él temía que si le decía eso a Pastor
You understand? I understand why why KoKo didn't want to meet her pastor. Because her pastor gonna tell her straight up, no, we're not doing this. So her KoKo and her pastor didn't get along. I understand why KoKo don't get along with your pastor, because your pastor ain't going for none of that foolishness, man. Come on now. They ain't going for none of that foolishness. That's why they want to get you away from predators like KoKo want to get you away from everybody that can tell you the truth of what's really going on. They want to make you solely dependent upon them. And look at everybody else like they just don't want to see us together. Like that song Akon used to sing. Don't nobody want to see us together, but it don't matter, no, because I got you. That devil ain't nothing but a lie. That dog ain't gonna hunt. You gonna get up out of here with that. Yes, sir.
And he was afraid that if he told that to Pastor
le iba a
Zurita,
quitar Panamá para
he was
Cristo.
going to take Panama for Christ away from him.
Porque Pastor Zurita es el presidente de la Alianza Evangélica.
Because Pastor Zurita is the president of the Evangelical Alliance.
Y él temía que pues porque yo era su
And he
oveja.
was afraid because I was his sheep.
Y él sí me dijo que iba a hacerlo después de
And he did tell me he was going to
de
do it
Panamá para
after
Cristo.
Panama for Christ.
Did you feel he was too old for you?
Incluso digamos que tenía 39. ¿Alguna vez sentiste que él era muy mayor para ti?
Sí, lo sentí.
Yes,
Pues,
I did felt that.
las primeras semanas yo estaba muy confundida.
The first week I was very confused.
Yo le preguntaba a Dios por qué me mandaría un esposo tan mayor.
I asked God, why would he send me a husband so old?
So what happened after January? Did he ever say we're not going to get married?
Y te dijo, no nos vamos a casar.
Sí, él me dijo que no nos podíamos casar.
Yes, he said we couldn't marry.
Lo siento, que no nos podíamos casar hasta que yo realmente estuviera bien entrenada.
That we couldn't get married till I was well trained.
Que no pudiera cometer ni un error.
For me not to commit any mistake.
E incluso no recuerdo en qué parte del año.
And I don't remember in which part of the year.
Dejamos de hablar.
We stopped talking.
Porque él me dijo que no estaba seguro que yo era su esposa.
Because then he told me that he was not sure that I was his wife.
Que yo era muy joven.
That I was too young.
Que él no quería problemas en Panamá.
That he didn't want problems in Panama.
Porque yo era muy joven.
Because I was too young.
Y la excusa era pues por mí.
And the excuse was always because of me.
Y luego él me dijo que le estaba gustando una chica en Puerto Rico.
Then he said he was liking this girl in Puerto Rico.
Que era Miss Universo.
That was Miss Universe.
Y yo dije, pero ¿por qué me estás diciendo esto?
And I said, why are you saying this to me? That you're hurting me.
So this is what I'm saying. They try to break down your self-worth. Now he's saying that I don't think you're my wife. I want to go, I'm gonna go get with this girl in Puerto Rico who was Miss Universe in Puerto Rico, telling her that, making her feel like she's not good enough. These are the games these people play, man. And the whole time you're supposed to be a preacher. You're supposed to be a preacher. But see, Jesus is the product that they push. But behind closed doors, man, they evil, they wolves, they demons. You got to be demon possessed to play with people like this. No emotion whatsoever. No remorse. Just because you think you can, and because you got a team that enables you to do so. Playing mind games with this girl.
Y él me dijo, es que quiero intentar a ver cómo me va con esta
It's
chica.
because I want to try to see how it goes with this girl.
Pero te recomiendo que no me esperes.
But I recommend you not to wait for me.
Pero no hablamos por un buen tiempo.
But we didn't talk for a great while.
Pero él nuevamente volvió.
But again, he came.
Y me dijo que la chica no era buena.
And he told me that girl was not good.
Primero porque ni siquiera era cristiana.
Because first she was not even Christian.
Y que no estaba bien que él estuviera con ella. Que él
and that it was not right for him to be with her, and he wanted to try with me.
I'll tell you what, he probably the reason why he probably ran from Miss Universe back to Sarah is because Puerto Rico wasn't going for it. I mean, Puerto Rico wasn't going for that foolishness. He realized he can't control her, so he come back to somebody he know he can control. That's why they like these young girls.
No sé, era muy joven y le dije
I don't
que
know,
bueno,
it was
está
too
bien.
young, and I said, okay, fine.
That 1 week that you went away together, were you in separate hotel rooms or together?
En Punta Cana juntos, estaban en cuartos separados o estaban juntos en la habitación de un hotel.
Primero estábamos separados,
First we were in separate rooms,
pero luego me dijo que él quería dormir conmigo.
but then he told me he wanted to sleep with me.
Entonces me daba miedo,
So I was scared,
pero no sé, KoKo tiende a ser muy manipulador,
but I don't know,
más
KoKo
conmigo.
has been very manipulative, more
Y-
with me.
Yo accedí y dije, bueno, está bien.
And I accepted, and I said, okay.
Y bueno, reconozco que pasaron cosas que no tenían que pasar.
And I recognized things happened that should have never happened.
Y yo me sentía aún mal, primero porque
And I
vi
was
el
feeling
chat,
bad, first because I saw the chat.
no sé, me sentía como sucia.
I felt dirty.
Y no tuve la valentía para decirle todo eso y
And I did not
regresé a
have the
Panamá
boldness to tell him all of that, and then I came back to Panama.
mal. No
Bad.
por el hecho de fallar con él, sino porque yo sabía
Not
que estaba
because of the
fallando.
fact that I failed with him, but because I knew I was failing.
Y lo que más me
And see, this is why I said they don't care about your soul. It's because this girl now, she says she feels dirty because she was failing, not feeling KoKo, but feeling her walk with God, falling in her walk with Christ, and he causing her to fall. Let me tell you something, man. God does not play when you are the result of causing another one of his children to fall. This girl fell into sin because of KoKo. Because she was manipulated and thought that she was in love with KoKo so much so that she gave up her body to him. 19 years old, man. She had no clue. She wasn't ready. She had no clue for what she was getting herself into.
carcomía era que yo no podía hablar con nadie.
And what truly was eating me the most, it was that I was not able to talk to no one.
Porque él siempre me pidió que no hablara
Because
con
he
nadie.
always asked me to not talk to no one.
Did you have intercourse?
Tuvieron sexo.
Yes.
How many times?
¿Cuántas veces?
Esa semana,
That week,
2 o 3 veces.
2-3 times.
Y para mí no se sentía bien.
And for me, did not feel well.
Cada vez que pasaba eso, yo lloraba.
Every time that happened, I would cry.
Y él solo me decía que no me sintiera pues mal.
And he always told me for me not to feel bad.
Pero yo me sentía mal era porque sabía que estaba fallando.
But I always felt bad because I knew I was failing.
Yo no sabía qué estaba haciendo.
I didn't know what I was doing.
Yo no quería hacer nada.
I didn't want to do nothing.
Yo luchaba con él.
I was fighting with him.
Listen to this subtitle down here. It said he repeatedly told her, "You must obey me. That way I know if you'll be a good wife." When he would cross physical boundaries with her and she resisted. This is part of that game, man. All he cared about was what he wanted from her at that time, which was her body. Don't care nothing about her soul. Don't care nothing about it, man. Listen, I know this video is getting long with the guys. I'm gonna have to come back and do another part. If y'all want to watch the rest of that, listen, man, it goes deeper than what y'all think, man. You talking about physical abuse, beating her with belts, beating her with whatever he could to try to break her. This is why I say, man, we can't know no man by the flesh. We got to know every man by the spirit. This is the face of evil, man. Steve KoKo. I pray that somehow or another charges be pressed on him, because you can't do this to people and think you're going to get away with it. I stand with victims, guys. I'm going to stand with victims, real, true victims. I stand with them. If y'all want to watch the rest of that interview, click the description in the description box. Click the link below. All right, guys. If y'all want to be a blessing to the channel, you can do so one of three ways: through Cash App, $ Remper Media Group, PayPal Remper Media Group, or you can scan the QR code on the screen. I don't know what else to say, man. This is, my heart goes out to that young girl, not just her, man, to all of the victims of Steve KoKo, because she wasn't the only one. She wasn't the only one. Only Lord knows how many people this man done did this to. I'm getting up out of here, guys. Until next time, this is Brother Rembert. Keep your eyes open. Know God for yourself.
Jesus, rock me, hold me, Jesus, rock me, Jesus, rock me, Jesus, hold me, 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 Lord, hold me, Lord, hold me, Lord, hold me, Lord.